Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Intentions with Lisa-Tien. That is me. I chopped my hair. I think this is my first potty where I'm wearing my short hair and she's a little wet right now, so whatever. I feel like I look dead. I just bought some new lippies because I was at Target getting groceries and I just wear the same lip stain that I have and I actually really love it. It like pops the fuck off. And I got it on SoCo Glam. So I went back to see if I can purchase different colors. And no, I can't. It's like out of stock or whatever. So I bought the Kylie matte lipstick, the little mini one. And maybe it would have popped off before I started getting tan because I've been like going on hot girl walks out in the sun. Let me put the rest of my face on, but I also got Fenty Fussy. It's gonna be blurry and backwards, so I don't even know what I'm trying to show you guys, but hopefully this one looks kind of cute. Maybe I'll just throw that over the lip. Actually, I wonder if I can return it because I bought these two little babies and then a bronzer. I think I get it. My bronzer is like the Hula Benefit or whatever. $80. $80. Anyway, let me finish putting on the rest of my makeup and see if I don't look dead anymore. Anyway, I don't really have anything insightful or like for you guys. I think it's gonna be a yapping video and me getting ready for work because yeah. Time management, you know me. So this weekend is going to be the Breakaway show. It's like a 2-day music festival in Dallas in like Fair Park, and I'm super pumped for it. I'm so ready because I've been wanting to see Griffin for 2 years and he's finally coming to Dallas and it's going to be fucking lit. I invited Sweet Baby Angel. Unfortunately, he can't come because his parents are going to be in town, and which is fine. And then I'm going to be meeting one of my best friends, Lisa, out with her crew, but they're not going to come out until later, like 5 or 6. And I get off of work around like 3. It's not going to take me long to get ready. So I'm thinking that I might go out there early by myself, which kind of makes me nervous, but I feel like I should, you know? Like I went to Denver and by myself in April last year and did the whole, went to see Alesso at the Red Rock Amphitheater and I talked to people, I invited myself into a group. And that whole weekend, like I met some pretty cool ass people. So I'm like, maybe I should just go. We're in our healing era still, like just working on being confident and making eye contact with people. You know me, we love to not make eye contact. I did make eye contact with some people at the gym today, and one of them was a cutie, so pop off for me. I've actually been the most hinged, rehinged, whatever the word is, the opposite of unhinged, the last few weeks, which is like really nice. I haven't been craving, vaping. I went out with one of my coworkers. It was her late birthday / last work day at the salon. Okay, I'm looking at like very tan compared to how I usually look, which is really crazy because it's been a few walks, out in the sun. Lost my train of thought. I went out with my coworker. That was fun. I forget why I brought that up though. But that was a good time. We went to Flips to eat dinner, took pictures, and then we went to Big Shots, which is like Top Golf. Oh, wait, was it working on being confident? I forget. The whole confidence thing, we love. Eye contact, people. Okay. Oh, yes. Now I remember. I brought it up because they be vaping, right? And I always said that I personally just cannot have a vape to myself, but like if other people are vaping, that's fine if I hit it. But I don't think it is. It's not fine because then it'll be on my mind. I'll be craving it. I've still been smoking that THCA, which actually hasn't really been that problematic for me. I think it's really when I eat an edible that I'll kind of go crazy. But I'll just take a few hits like on my way home and then that's it. Really, this whole week I haven't been like binge eating or wanting to, buy food. Like yesterday was a really fucking intense day, low key, high key. I don't know if I should talk about it actually, but in my almost 8 years of doing hair, I have not had that kind of experience with someone's hair and how they reacted, but it wasn't necessarily her. Like it was her sister coming in. Like, it was just drama. That was crazy. I was like, well, I spent all these hours on this girl's hair. My next one's here. Like, I don't really have time to fix it. I told her that I can reschedule her, but she didn't want to leave like that. And so, everyone else that was available or like made time to be available to help her to get where she would be like somewhat happy, and she wasn't. And I guess she went home or was talking to her sister, and her sister came in and like fucking anyway, yeah, sometimes, not, I was gonna say sometimes, but actually all of the time I feel like ADHD is definitely like a superpower, because I was like, or maybe it's just like the whole mindset thing. So let's just talk about this. Like if you feel guilty or shame or whatever, or you feel like at fault or whatever for any kind of situation, and then you make yourself feel bad about it, and it's just like useless feelings, right? I think I've talked about this in an episode before about like my childhood trauma and stuff like that, and how like it made me feel, some type of way about myself. And then low key, I just didn't really like myself that much growing up, and I just was so unaware of all of that. And until I learned to process all of that and like let go of those emotions. But honestly, it wasn't until I did the rapid resolution therapy where she just like cleared it for me. Because, and again, I've already told this, I think, in like one or two of the episodes, but there are like two parts of the childhood trauma. There was like the trauma in which the adults did something to me, and processing that and getting over that. Like that wasn't a situation that was something that I had like already worked through, something that I didn't really feel guilty or hated myself about. It was like introducing what happened to me as a kid while I was a kid to other kids. That was what I would feel, like guilty for, or feeling like a predator, even though I was literally a child. And when I did the rapid resolution therapy, the therapist, kind of helped me go through that. She was like, just picture your stepdaughters right now. And, kids are curious whether they've had history of sexual abuse or not, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, tangent. So she kind of just helped me clear that guilt and shame. So now when something comes up, I don't feel that anymore. I might feel it in the moment, but I kind of just let it go. Like I don't let it take over, because why? But maybe I don't know, when it comes to hair, like this was very, very much a long time ago, but I had a girl cry in my chair once, and my next client had been here. She's been waiting for like 30 minutes already, and I had to go up to tell her like, hey, I am so sorry, like This girl is, you know, like not loving her hair. I can talk about that situation. So with her, kind of the same deal, dark hair, grown out roots to like her fucking like 6 or 8 inches of grown out roots, dark, my dark, right? And from here all the way down was already like really light blonde. And I told her, like, if that's something you want to maintain, you cannot wait that long to get it done, because then it just becomes a fucking color correction, because you're having to match all of this hair to your already over processed however many sessions you've already had on that bleached ends, right? So like some people think, I think that some people think that if they wait longer, it would be cheaper versus coming in more often to get it done. Like, no, coming in more often, like in your head, it might feel like you're spending more money, but, and you might, you know, in the end, I think it kind of just equals out, honestly. But if you're coming in more often, you're getting more of a consistent result. If you're waiting 5 to 6 months to a year because you don't want to spend that money on your hair, you're not going to get what it is that you're looking for. Because if you think like that girl's hair had already been bleached so many times, it's super light. Anyway, I told her it was going to take a few sessions. She understood that. She did not tell me that she wanted to get light enough to put on like a baby pink to go to a rave music festival, right? And if she had told me that from the get-go of when the rave was, I would have told her that you're not going to be able to get that light in that short amount of time, right? So also, okay, the first session popped off. Great. She went home and bleached her own hair. Okay, so then she comes in for the third session, and I will be completely honest, I felt like her hair looked so fucking good. She did not like it because it wasn't light enough, and she wanted to put the pink over it and blah blah blah, and she just sat in the chair like we were talking and stuff. And then once I started blow drying and she saw the color, she got like really quiet, and I was like, fuck, well, here we go. So then I blow dried it, and she kind of looked at it and she was like, it's still, you know, like not where I want it to be. And I was just like, yeah, I told you it's going to take a few sessions and then you go home and bleach your own hair. So like now we're dealing with whatever brassiness color that you put in there, blah, blah, blah. She kind of started tearing up. I told my boss, I was like, this girl is crying in my chair right now. The first appointment, she told me how she leaves like all these Yelp reviews and she had this experience at this restaurant and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, honestly, I don't even care if she pays. Like, I don't want her to leave a bad review. So I just told her, like, you can just leave, like, whatever. And she did come back and bring me tip money, which was great. But I always wondered how I would react when someone would cry in my chair. Like, I always thought, like, would I freak out? Would I start crying? Would I feel really bad? But, you know, like, it just is what it is. You just have to do your best to set the expectation and have a really thorough consultation. Also wondered how I would react with, you know, if someone got like really pissed off, which I can't remember if I told this story before, but I was doing this boy's hair, and I remember walking up to the front where him and his mom and little sister were waiting, and he had kind of like a vivid color. But anyway, I was like, hey, I'm Lisa, blah blah blah, we can come back this way. And as I turn, initiating them to come with me, right? And I turned and walked back towards my station. The mom was like, we just want to do a brown, like yelling it out or whatever. And then I turned around and I was like, okay, so we're trying to go back to his natural, blah, 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 blah. She was like, yeah, this, that, or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I bring the boy back. He's like maybe 8th grade, high school. I told him, maybe it wasn't a vivid color. I forget. It was just it was light. Like his natural hair was kind of like a medium brown. And whatever was on his hair, I told him that we're going to have to put in like a filler. So like an in-between color. And then I'll put the brown over. So I did the first part, which was going to be like very coppery, because you have to fill, I guess it was blonde now that I'm thinking about it. You have to put back the pigments that were bleached out, right? So like you have dark hair and you're trying to go blonde, when you put bleach on the hair, it strips the pigments off, like dark red, orange, yellow, pale yellow. So those are the levels of the underlying pigment, depending on, you know, how dark your hair is and your end goal of where you're wanting to get to. So bleaching, boom, going back dark is just reverse. So instead of bleaching, you're putting back the pigments that you have bleached out or that have been bleached out. Anyway, I told him when we got back to the station, I was like, don't be worried. It's gonna be, you know, like coppery orange. It's gonna be a little warm. And I blow dried it, I think. And he was like, I actually really like this color. And I was like, are you sure? Like, it's pretty orange. It's, you know, it's not like brassy orange, but it's copper. And he was like, no, I really like it. And I was like, oh, okay. So then when his mom came to pick him up, she was like, his hair looks orange, doesn't it? And I was like, yeah. I told him that we're going to have to put in the filler color, which is just an in-between color before putting on the brown. And when we came back to the station, he said that he liked this color. And she was like, well, that's why I was trying to have a conversation with you, but you just turned and walked away. So she's talking about the initial interaction of when I went up to talk to them. And I was like, well, I figured that you would come back to the chair with me, because that's where we would have the consultation, not up at the front by the front desk. And she was like, he's 15 years old. He doesn't need me to babysit him. And I was just like, okay, well, this is the color that he said he liked. And I just don't really know what to tell you. If you don't like it, we can throw on a brown over it. And she's like super frustrated and fussy. Like, she's upset with him. She was like, even he was like, oh my God, Mom, like, chill. Like, I really like it. And she was like, go to the car. You're embarrassing me or whatever. And honestly, it was giving abusive. Like, I remember when he was in my chair and I was, you know, just trying to talk to him, asking him a few questions. Like, he kind of like really didn't make eye contact, kind of looked down, like very like quiet, you know, like it was very obvious, just that interaction with his mom, that like she definitely favored the little girl. And I just was one of those very like not nice or not good of a person, the way that she was talking to me and to the front desk and to her own son. Like, he's embarrassing you? What? Anyway, I forget what else happened. Yeah, I was like, well, that's what he said that he liked. If you don't like it, we can blah, 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 blah. And so now she contradicts herself. She's like, well, he's only 15. He doesn't really know. And okay, you shouldn't have left. Like, if you were going to be that particular, honestly, I didn't think it would be a big deal, because I think he did have like a vivid, like a blue or something like crazy for the summer that had faded to like the blonde or whatever. Because I did think that I was going to have to touch up the vivid color. But then she said, we're just trying to go back brown. So, yeah. She like threw a fuss about it. I think she was about to, or she did buy product and then like crumbled up the receipt and threw it at the front desk girl. I forget who was working the front desk that day. But I was like, oh my God. Like, I always wondered how I would be when a client reacts that way. And I feel pretty proud of how I've reacted, honestly. Like, pretty stern. You know, I had this other client when I was in the Fort Worth location. She wanted, you know, a full head highlight or something. No, she wanted a haircut and she was talking about highlights or whatever. And kind of complaining about the pricing. She was like, well, how much would it be to do this? And I told her in the Fort Worth location, the pricing is different from South Lake. Like my haircut at that time was $100 because I was a level 4, but I ended up dropping down to a 3 because a lot of my clients, I figured, weren't going to come with me to Fort Worth. That's a little bit ways away coming from Keller. So I didn't have a clientele, and that's why I dropped down a level just to see if I would like get busy. But anyway, so she like booked knowing how much the haircut was, and she kind of was like, oh, like I don't really have money like that, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, she was trying to nitpick the haircut pricing, and I was like, look, I don't think I've ever spoken in that tone. Like I have not spoken in that tone in so long, but I was just like, look, I don't really know what to tell you. My haircuts are $100. If you don't want to pay that much, I can cut your hair dry or you can leave wet. So like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I was a little more assertive because I'm so, like easygoing, chill or whatever. But I guess I'm assertive when I need to be. So that's, that's kind of good. Literally just been talking in circles. Like I have no idea what I've been saying this whole time. Yeah, just people. And even in the restaurant industry, like I've always thought or told myself with being with my ex-husband that like, oh, I'm afraid of confrontation, but I'm actually not. The idea of like confronting someone or like getting into an argument or something like that, like, yeah, that does kind of make me a little uncomfortable. However, when it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And I guess that's just all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if I love this lip color. I actually wonder if I can return it, but let me go ahead and try this. Lip gloss on. I don't think I love this. I think I like the lip gloss, but not the, That's just gonna have to do for right now. I'll figure it out later. It looks so strange. I feel like the lighting is just very dark. It is actually pretty dark outside. Dark, very gloomy. I look brown. Like, I literally look brown. Anyway. I just started this new show. I mean, it's not new. It's been out on Netflix. It's called The Empress. And I've been seeing it on Netflix, like, recommended to me. And I'm always, like, in the back of my head, like, okay, at some point I'll watch it. And I finally started, and it's actually, like, very good. And I'm in love with the lead guy. Like, I'm in love with him, but I'm also in love with him and her, like, together. And when I watch them, my heart just feels, like, so full. I'm like, oh, I love them. Love, 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 love. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait to, like, be in love. And I think I've already said this before, but with someone that's, like, stable and kind and genuine and... maybe this can be, I've already been yapping for 24 minutes, but maybe this can be the little enlightenment sprinkle Salt Bay on the topic or this episode. Sometimes when you go through something like traumatic or, yeah, let's just say traumatic, right? If you were in an abusive relationship, if you were cheated on, if you were betrayed, this, that, or whatever, like by whomever, you feel afraid and you might want to like close yourself off. I had this one client that she swore she would just be single for the rest of her life. And there's like this fine line of fear and the attitude you can have about it, right? You can just blatantly be afraid and just be like, yeah, like, no, it's not for me. I'm scared. I don't want to do this. Or you can be on the opposite end where you're like, I don't need nobody. Like, I'm good on my own, blah, 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 blah. And all of that's great. But I feel like life is all about love and relationships. So when you're closing yourself off to relationships, to love, I don't think you would really be fulfilled, like truly. Like you might feel like you're fulfilled by taking trips or doing this or doing that and just like keeping yourself busy. But I think love and relationship is just like so important. If not that, then what is life about? You know, yeah, you can live. Yeah, you can be happy. Yes, you can make money. But I feel like you're not really living if you're not able to be vulnerable and share your whole self with someone. I think that is just such a beautiful, courageous thing that you can do. Like, there's just sometimes I'll have these thoughts, right? When I reflect back on my marriage. And I think to myself, I hate I hate that I just said hate. I don't love that my ex knows everything about me. You know, like the details of the traumas and whatever I went through and how I felt about it, because I was open and vulnerable. But at the same time, I'm also very open and vulnerable in this podcast. So I guess like a lot of people know details about my life, but just the fact that he is the type of person that he is, and that I thought he was different, and I was just so open, right? And that it is what it is, right? But when it is the right person or a kind person or just someone that you can like connect with, I feel like that is just so like amazing. And fear, again, it just keeps you stuck. It keeps you reserved, it keeps you sheltered, it keeps you safe, but it keeps you stuck. And you don't get to like grow and branch out. Like, just imagine a flower, I don't know, a tree with like a bubble over it. It can only grow so much if the bubble over it is protecting it or whatever. Like, sunlight's still coming in or whatever, fucking blah. Life, you're still living, right? The sun's still shining. But the bubble is covering over you, and the trees can't, you know, the branches can't branch out anymore. Like, you can only grow so much within that bubble. And in order to grow to your fullest potential, that bubble's got to go. It's got to disappear. You can't be afraid of being seen, or maybe it is just that. You can't be afraid of being seen, of being vulnerable, of connecting with someone, because you are this magical being that is just full of light and love, and people should see that. Does everyone deserve to see that? No. You know, not everyone deserves to know your deepest, darkest secrets and your fears and all that shit. But just like being you, like whatever. So that's something I'm trying to embody a little more when I think about like how I want to be more confident. And we'll just talk about like being in the gym, right? Like, I'm so terrified for some reason of making like eye contact with people. I don't know what it is, man or woman. I think I'm finding myself, I did smile at people today, pop off at a lady, at a man, and at another guy who actually was really hot. But yeah, I don't know if it's just like fear of judgment or of being seen, or maybe that's all just like the same thing, but like just simply smiling at someone can make someone feel good, or smile back at you, or giving a compliment. So I'm trying to enforce that a little more within myself. Is if I see someone and I like their hair, just telling them, I really love your hair, I love your boots, this, that, or whatever. And again, I've already talked about this in the previous episode, I think, is whenever I went out with Sweet Baby Angel for the second time. And I felt I just had so much fun, because I felt like I was just everything that I needed to be. Like, I was just so social and active and bubbly and just chit chatting with everyone and, you know, asking people questions, giving people compliments, like connecting with people. And again, I feel like that is just what life is about. And that is just so important, to just be yourself and shine and let other people see that shine, because it's contagious. You know, when you smile at someone, what is the percentage or the odds that someone like looks at you sideways if you smile at them? You know, most of the time, majority of the time, people are going to smile back, right? I try to embody, like, when I think about how I want to be confident or whatever, like I just try to like walk a little taller and put my shoulders back, and I kind of just think, you know, maybe I'm listening to music in my head, or oh damn, I was like, something stabbing me. Or yeah, I just think about how I love life and how this song is really good and this, that, or whatever. And then it just kind of like puts me in this higher vibration, I guess. I cannot get over like how tan I look right now. It's kind of insane. Like, and summer hasn't even started yet. I've really been yapping for no reason. Oh, Martin Garrix is going to be at the Red Rock Amphitheater in Colorado, and tickets go on sale. Actually, I think pre-sale is happening right now. I'm kind of thinking about if I want to go or not, because I've already been to the Red Rock Amphitheater. Like, I've already done that, you know? So I'm just like, should I just see him whenever else, you know, wait for a music festival? I probably will actually wait for a music festival. Like, the idea sounds so dope. And I could use my miles again. I know what hotel. I would definitely stay at the same hotel, you know, but we'll see. And if I go, I can meet the people that I met whenever I was there. So we shall see. I probably won't, though. I was going to say I have things I want to pay off, but again, I can use my miles. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I didn't really have any episodes on deck. I didn't really have anything that was like, oh my God, I want to talk about this right now. So it's just me talking. And I guess I got to a good point of where I just love and I love connecting with people. Again, that is my absolute favorite part about my job and doing hair, is connecting with the client, meeting new people, just getting to know them and understanding where they're coming from. What are their parents like? What are their siblings like? Like, what is this dynamic like? Just love to understand and learn about people. It's very fun for me, and I like to talk about myself. So it's just like, you know, love connecting. So that is why a part of me wants to go out to the show early and just, because I would be forced to interact with people and be social by myself, right? Like, I'm not in Colorado by myself where, oh, I'm in this new city, so I should explore. Like, let's not hang out at the hotel the whole time, you know what I mean? But if I'm home, so it's just like, oh, I could go there early, or I could just stay at home and wait until my friends and stuff are going out there, or I can meet up with them and ride with them. But a part of me just feels like it's a good idea to just drive out there by myself and just be there. Right. And another enlightenment thing that I would like to add is I be Delulu. You guys know me. And I've said this in the group chat many a times, but there's just this part of me that is so sure. And I want to throw up just saying. Not necessarily about Sweet Baby Angel, but let's just say yes. Like, how I feel about my future is I feel just so sure and confident. Like it's like kind of just like at peace of knowing that everything is happening for me. It's already happening and I don't have to be afraid, right? Like in the group chat, I say, there's this part of me that is so sure that me and Sweet Baby Angel are going to end up together. And again, I know that sounds crazy, that sounds delulu. At the same time, I don't want to manifest the wrong relationship because I'm pretty sure I manifested the relationship with my ex-husband. There was this part of me that was like, oh, I don't really want to be with him. But there was this part of me very unaware of how I did want to be with him because then it would validate me somehow, you know, like he chose me, this tall, handsome, older man who fucking doesn't have a job and has kids and has no calves, you know. But because he didn't want to be with me supposedly this whole time, and me saying, oh, well, I don't really want to be with him either because he's negative, this, that, or whatever. But then the fact that he says, oh, hey, actually, I want to be with you. And then me being like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. But at the same time, like, oh my God, he wants to be with me. So let's just try. And I remember, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, if you guys also do this, but I do be having like full on conversations by myself, like a whole ass dialogue out loud of like an interaction with someone, right? Like I've had that. I've actually done a whole stand up bit while I was in the shower one time. It's always like in the shower. I don't know. Like I'm usually listening to music and I'm like dancing around or whatever, or I just like let my thoughts run. So yeah, I have had a full-on conversation with like my I guess ex stepkids before my ex and I were together, like just not disciplining them, but like I don't know, like them acting a certain way and then me just being like, okay, well daddy blah blah blah, like trying to like relate or talk to them or like just chill them out in my head, like just out loud. I've had like a full on conversation with Sweet Baby Angel in my head. Like I visualize, and I do this because I think it's ADHD and it makes me feel good, but I have visualized myself at the altar, right? And saying my vows and just like feeling that emotion in my body and feeling that safety and love in my body. I know it sounds really crazy, but I be doing that to help put myself at a higher vibration so I can manifest the things that I want, right? No shame. A little shame, but I have, yes, had full on conversations. And sometimes I'll be like working on my clients and, you know, we might not be talking. And without even trying, like my mind just goes through, it's like a whole movie scene of me, Sweet Baby Angel, and us like, you know, we're not really talking that much right now. We're just hanging out every once in a while and then like watching it grow into going on dates and falling in love and meeting his his parents, like just a whole fucking movie scene. Boom. Just within, you know, I don't know. It could be like a span of 5 minutes and then I think to myself, that was crazy. But I wouldn't be mad about it. So my Delulu-ness has been, you know, all over the place. And it's not specific to Sweet Baby Angel. So if you're listening, I'm not crazy, I swear. It's just how I want to feel with my future partner, right? It could be him. It could be someone else. It could be the hot guy, my boss's client, right? Who comes in and gets a haircut I don't even know, pretty often. It could be one of my many gym crushes, you know, just keeping it light. Yeah, it could be any of them. So it's not specific to Sweet Baby Angel, although I absolutely adore him. He's just so sweet and gentle, and that's just the kind of partner that I want. So we are in an abundance of people, right? And it's just attracting the right type of person, the person that I want, the person that is meant for me, the person that I need, Who needs me? And whenever it happens, it happens. So that's the whole purpose of this story, is whenever it happens, right? Like, we'll just talk about Sweet Baby Angel. I can have this anxiety about like, oh, what are we doing? You know, like we went out twice and I don't really hear from him and this, that, or whatever. You know, like you can go through all of that and wonder and need a definite answer. Are we doing this? Are we not? Or you can just sit back, relax, have a life of your own, like keep going out, doing things, having fun, and just feeling sure and confident that everything's going to work out. So whether it works out with that person or not, it still like everything is still working out for you. It may not be what you think you want in that moment, right? Because what we think we want in those moments is it really what we want, or is it something that's going to validate us or, you know, make us feel some type of way, like chosen, like finally, you know? But you can feel chosen already. You can feel whatever it is that you want to feel, whatever it is you think that having a partner is going to make you feel, you can feel that on your own. You can feel that love. You can feel that safety. You can feel all of the emotions that you didn't get from your parents when you were young, you know, or whoever growing up. That little kid inside you, like, pick me, oh my God, I need love, right? You can be that person for yourself. And I've said this many a times. Yes, be that for you. Live, laugh, love, let go, learn, fucking just grow and shine and sparkle, and everything is gonna be all right. So that's how I feel. You know, whether things with me and Sweet Baby Angel happen or not, regardless, it's all happening for me. So I could have, again, this anxiety of like, what are we doing? You know, like we had a little roomies get together, like a roomies day out, and that was a lot of fun. And I think they did ask me if I want a relationship with him or something along those lines. And I was like, honestly, I don't know, right? Like, yes, we have this red string theory, like all of these synchronicities and coincidences of our being on the same vibration, magnetic towards each other or whatever, right? Where you're like, oh my God, this is a sign. This is a sign. We have all of that. I think we do. And for whatever reason it may be of why that's happening, I will trust the universe for all of that. But it doesn't need to be now, right? Okay, so like we met last year and we went on a date and we talked for a couple weeks, right? And now since then we've gone out twice, not really having conversations or talking throughout the week, whatever. I still don't know him is the point of what I'm trying to say, right? Like I have this idea of him and I love this idea of him. Like I think he is just a great, like kind, gentle human. I think his parents did an amazing job of raising like an actual man. But I still don't know. Like this is just things that I've like gathered from the few interactions that we've had when we've gone out. Plus when we've gone out, we be drinking. So it's like, is any of this real? And it's not like me trying to get confused in it all or whatever, but it's just the point of the matter is I don't have this like anxious attachment style. I don't have this unhealthy attachment style towards him as I did with Side Piece, which is amazing. First of all, very proud of myself, right? Like I don't need anything defined right now. I would like to see more of him. I would like to get to know him more. I would like to see if it leads anywhere, if it doesn't, whatever, I'm not in a rush to like push it to be something if it's not going to be something. And, you know, there's billions of people in this world. Anything can happen. You might think that this person is like your soulmate or whatever, and then you go to a show and then you meet someone else that's like just the way they are, who they are, and what they want. Like if they want you, if they see you. Okay, so Matthew Hussey says something. It's like 3 things, right? Like you might meet someone and you get excited because like you like them and then they also like you, and you think to yourself, oh my God, I haven't ever met someone that looks the way that they do, that I feel this connection to, but they also feel that same connection to me. Like you can hop on that and you can ride that out all day fucking long. But there's this other thing that's pretty important, and it's commitment. It's okay, yeah, they like you, but do they want to commit to you? Are they there in their life to see you for who you are and say, you know what, I want to lock that down. I'm ready for this next step. We can live in our delusions and manifest and blah, 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 you know, and like get high in that like thought, right? So I can be that way. But it's like, hello, like, is he even ready? Are you even ready? Am I even ready? You know what I mean? Like, just trusting the universe. Everything is happening for me. And that's how I live my life. That's how I live my day to day. And what keeps me going is just looking at hot guys at the gym. I love that. Keeps my dopamine high. Like to be a little delulu. No shame in that. And yeah. If a mistake happened, if someone's unhappy with you, you know, it just is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, is there anything that can be done? Is you feeling like shit about yourself helping? Is anything that you're feeling or doing or whatever, is it benefiting you in any way when you think of something negative, when something negative does happen, or something goes wrong and something's, you know, awry or whatever? You can choose to feel down about yourself, shame, guilty, whatever, or you can choose to accept that, you know, it happened. It is what it is. There's nothing to be done. Oops. How can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And, you know, just let it go. And I don't think that makes you a bad person. I don't think that makes you, you know, someone that doesn't have empathy. You can have empathy for the situation. You can feel for the situation, right? But you don't have to live there. You don't have to punish yourself. You don't have to make yourself feel miserable for something that happened that could have been prevented. Could have had worked out, you know, like, oh, it's just taking a chance, doing the thing. And yeah, that's it. I got to actually get going now. This was a nice little quickie yappy yap chat. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.